Hello, today we're going to talk about the Teltonika Ethernet products. This is a fairly new range to us. We historically we've done the 4G and 5G stuff, and it's sold very well, and we've been very impressed with the quality and specification of the Teltonika range. More recently they've brought out some switches and some Ethernet routers and a Wi-Fi router. We also have a UPS, so we shall go through each of these, and this is going to be quite a quick video really. It's just a brief overview of what's what. So with regard to switches, they all begin TSW with a bunch of different names. So Daniel, what sort of thing do they have to offer for us?
In particular, all of them are similar to the Teltonika routers. They're all industrial grade switches, really. So they're very well made, very reliable, quite
all
heavy
this metal,
and satisfying to hold.
They are. I like this metal. It just has a quality feel to it, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, I like the ridges on it. So it can easily be mounted just on a desk or DIN rail mounted. You can even attach like a surface clip mount to it, which Teltonika also do. So because it's obviously got a similar structure, well, almost identical structure and size to loads of the routers. So a lot of the little bits and pieces Teltonika do that work for them also work for this range of switches.
We have quite a nice range of DIN rail mountings as well, don't we? The plastic ones, the metal ones, and so on, that fit in these ridges on the side, like you say, so you could hang it on the wall, or on your DIN, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other end of the DIN's called. Yes, but it is a DIN, isn't it? Really. Yeah, in fact, all of these things do that. So even these routers have got the fixings for that, and the UPS too. So it's quite good that. Well, these actually all have the same housing, don't they? Those routers, and then we've got this bigger router that's a slightly different shaped housing, but again still has the DIN rail mountings slots in there as well. So the switches, they do 10-100 ones and gig ones. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So here we've got the TSW 110. So obviously that's a smaller size one.
Yeah.
And that'll be the 10-100.
Yeah.
But then if you're looking at, obviously, you'd say higher end switches, so ones that have more ports than this and better throughput capacities, you'd be looking at stuff like the TSW 200, which is gigabit and has a beefy power supply to go with it. Yeah.
Well, talking of power supplies, I noticed in some of the specs it says you can use a range of power supplies with them. So how does that work? Is that dependent on what you're looking to power out of it, for instance, over PoE or?
That's basically it. Yeah. So for the ones that are PoE models, ones that do power over Ethernet, they have multiple power supplies because to an extent they can only output what you put into them. So if you're not going to be powering very many devices and you don't need a very heavy duty power supply, you can get a relatively low one. I don't remember the exact voltage.
Yeah, well, we offer two, don't we?
Yeah, we have two.
So we do,
it's probably more that could work. And so if you don't need much power, you'd go for the lower one, and that'll cover a few devices. And if that's all you need, then that's fine.
Yeah.
And then if you were thinking of using one of however many ports there are, 16. If you had that many devices, you'd be looking at the higher end one to manage that level of power. Yeah.
Excellent. So the Ethernet routers, which is this one, the RUT 300 and the RUT X08, to be fair, I'm not sure we do much in the way of Ethernet routers these days, but historically, even before your time, we used to sell a lot of Ethernet routers. So it might be that that's something that comes back now that we've got a nice quality range of them in. So this one is the RUT 300, which is the 10-100 5-port one, and then they do the gig one, which is the RUT X08, which only has 4 ports. But again, that does the range of power supplies as well, which I thought was interesting. And the other thing I noticed that obviously switches don't use the RMS, but these Ethernet routers and this wireless router can be used on the remote management system as well.
Yeah, because they have proper web interfaces where you can do configuring on them, so they're also compatible with Teltonika's remote management RMS.
Yeah.
So you can remotely manage however many you've got if you've got different sites, just like you can with the routers.
And not talking of RMS, we've just started doing the 5-year and 10-year licenses as well, so that's maybe something people might be interested in looking at.
Yeah, if you have these kind of Teltonika devices in very long-term situations, and you know you're going to be needing these remote management capabilities for consistently for a long time. Obviously you can still buy the regular 1-month licenses per device and just buy however many of them that you would need. But if you know you're definitely going to be needing a lot of them, then there's now these bulk credits that you can buy basically, which is obviously, you can say 1 year, 5 year, however many, all into one credit that you apply to the device, and then that device is sorted for the year or however long. And obviously you get a slightly better price on that than if you were to buy all of them individually.
Yeah. Excellent. And then there's the Wi-Fi router, the ROT-X10. We've only got the one Wi-Fi router at the moment, but that's quite a chunky beast, that, isn't it? It's quite, it's really quite a heavy feel, but again, the same quality that Teltonika we've come to expect from Teltonika, the same metal boxing, the again with the DIN rails and so on. You can see this is the Wi-Fi one. If you're watching this on video, it's got the Wi-Fi ports on there. There's actually a Bluetooth antenna with this one as well, which then I suppose lastly leads us on to the BAT 120.
Yeah, so a UPS, obviously uninterruptible power supply, and that is what you would use with another Teltonika device, like another router or one of these.
Could you use it with something else, or is it designed just for Teltonika stuff?
It's designed just for Teltonika stuff.
Right.
That's the bits it comes with is.
Oh, and I can see because of the power supply situation as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And because of the special power, like the 4-pin power sockets that I've not really seen anywhere else other than Teltonika.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you add these routers in locations where you get lots of power cuts, which can sometimes, because power cuts can sometimes just like mess with things and make it so that you need to go there and do a reset or something on it to get it sorted again, because it can knock it off. Or if you just want 100% guaranteed, continuity at all times, if it's like a very important scenario where you can't be down on your network.
So it's not aimed specifically just at businesses. That's something you could have in your home as well, isn't it?
If you needed to guarantee that you're not going to lose your network when a power cut goes down, if you're expecting power cuts often, which sometimes people do if they're in.
In the back of beyond, perhaps.
Yeah. Or if you're just in an area with the council's doing dodgy work on the power.
Well, there's something in what you say there.
Yeah. That can definitely have its use, and it means that if your power goes out, it'll continue running just fine.
Yeah. Sounds good. Excellent. I don't think there's much more to say about these other than the DIN stuff, the DIN rails and so on we do. Yeah. We do a whole bunch of accessories, spare power supplies, 12-volt power supplies, car chargers and so on.
Yeah, and we just wanted to shed a light on them so that to make sure people are aware that we do them.
Yeah, with it being the newer range.
Yeah. So, yeah. And not what you'd always expect from Teltonika.
No, because it's not the 4G, 5G stuff, is it? Which is what they've become predominantly known for, I think, in the UK. So, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Daniel.